Hi friends, my name is Rick and welcome to my Cape Cod life. Today I'm talking about the variety of tomatoes I'll be growing in the garden this year. Before we talk about those varieties, let's talk about the two kinds of tomatoes. You have the Determinate and the Indeterminate. The Determinate, as the name suggests, is all very determined. It grows a certain height, it blooms all of its flowers at once, sets its fruit all at the same time, and then ripens all at the same time, and you have one flush of fruit. And after that, the plant is done. Now the other type is the Indeterminate. That one keeps veining up all season long, it keeps growing, it sets flowers and fruit all season long. Now caring for the tomatoes is usually an approach for each type. For the Determinate, you let everything just bush out, generally speaking. It'll be quick, it'll get more tomatoes that way. Now for the Indeterminate, generally you prune back the suckers, maybe having one or two main stems, and this produces larger fruit. Now we know the two types. Let's talk about the types of tomatoes I will be growing this season. All right, let's talk about some Determinate tomatoes. The first one I'm gonna grow is called the 42 Day. I grew this last season. I enjoyed it very much. It has a fruit about the size of a ping pong ball, very sweet and red. Loved it. Now, the 42 Day, as the name suggests, is ready in 42 days. Well, actually, I think mine took about 50, but it's a very quick tomato. And that's part of what Determinants usually do. They're usually a quicker growing tomato. Now, new to me, this Determinate takes about 65 days. It's called the New Yorker. I think it has slightly larger fruit than the 42 Day, but same thing. It'll all be ready at the same time. Now, when these are done doing their fruiting and ripening, I'll pull them out and I'll hopefully have starts of these Roma hybrid tomatoes. And they take about 65, 70 days themselves. And I'm figuring if it all works out, I'll have a big harvest of Roma tomatoes sometime at the end of September. Let's talk about Indeterminate and the cherry tomatoes I'm growing this year. The first one I have is a Sun Gold cherry tomato. Very sweet and orangey cherry tomato. Next up is a Super Sweet 100. It's very prolific. Little red cherry tomatoes. Very good. But my favorite, this is coming back. I've been growing it for a few years. It's called the Black Cherry. Now it has one very similar chocolate cherry, which is also very good, but it's very sweet, a little smoky, and I really enjoyed these. Okay, let's go to the Indeterminates, and my all-time favorite tomato is the Brandywine. It's a big, juicy, slicing tomato. These can get 2 pounds sometimes. It has, for me, the quintessential tomato flavor, but that's me. Everybody's different. I grow those every season. Now these I grew last season and I really enjoyed these. This is the Old German. It's an orange and yellow tomato with some red streaks in it. It's a big tomato. Those can get up to 2 pounds as well. I think I had one that was 1.5 pounds last year. Enormous, enormous. They're sweet, just the right amount of acid. Great on a tomato sandwich. Speaking of tomato sandwich, this one as well, the Paul Robeson. Now this is in the purple tomato family. It has like a burgundy bottom and green shoulders. To me, call me crazy, I think it's a really sexy looking tomato. But anyhow, this is a very tasty tomato, and this is why it's coming back this year. Many years ago, I had a little garden between the garage and the shed, and I grew this variety. It's called Black from Tula. Very good, again in the purple family, smoky, sweet, very delicious. I can't wait to have these again. Now here's another one that I've had before. A couple of years ago, the Mortgage Lifter, a classic beefsteak type of tomato. I really enjoy these as well. And they're very prolific, so that's a plus. All right, here's a Russian variety. It's a yellow tomato. It's called the Zoichka. Hope I said that correctly. So I've never grown this one. This is new to me, and I'm excited to give this one a whirl. Also new to me this year is the carbon tomato. It's kind of like a terracotta orangey red tomato. I think these are gonna be good. I hope I'm right. Next is the pink ox heart. It is a paste tomato. It's more rounder than like sausage shape, like a lot of them. It's also good sliced, and it has nice dense flesh, so if it works out, because I seem to have trouble with paste tomatoes, hopefully I can make some nice sauce out of that. I think I will have room for these two. This one I'm interested in. It's called the Wisconsin 55. It's really developed for the Midwest, and I want to see how it does here on Cape Cod. A nice red tomato. And then the final Indeterminate that I have is called an evergreen. It's a green tomato, one ripe, and I think it'll look really beautiful sliced in tomato salads, a caprese salads, and that kind of thing with the other colored tomatoes. It'd be awesome. It's supposed to be sweet with a little bit of acid. Now I have a final category, and that's the micro dwarf and the dwarfs. And it seems everybody's growing these this year. The micro dwarf, I've grown these the last 3 seasons. It's called the orange hat. It's a small plant, 9 to 12 inches tall, that's it. And it grows these orange sweet cherry tomatoes. I grew extras of these and pot them up nicely for some elderly friends of mine. All they have to do is put it in the sun and water it, and they get some tomatoes for a few weeks in the summer, and it's very exciting for them. Because, you know, tomatoes is exciting for me too. Okay, now for dwarf varieties. I have, the first dwarf tomato plant I have is the Geranium Kiss. It grows about 3 feet tall tops, and it has red fruit, and they're like cherry tomato size. The next one is Rorokahai. I'm sure I murdered that, but it's a yellow orangey little tomato, the size of golf balls. And the final dwarf I have is the Arctic Rose. Its fruits are purple in the purple family, so they'll be smoky and sweet. And they range like from 3 to 8 ounces. So that's a good sized dwarf tomato. And this one grows 3 to 4 feet. All right, so that rounds off that category. And the reason I'm growing these micro dwarfs and dwarf tomato is because I have a new green stalk vertical planter. If you remember last year, I had their version of a leaf planter, which I grew a lot of lettuce in. So I have a second one this year. This is the original, so it has deeper cups for the plants. It holds more soil. And I'm gonna grow like the orange hats towards the top and some of the other ones towards the bottom, but I'm also gonna plant other vegetables with it. There's 30 sections or 30 plants it can have, and I wanna grow like a little mini garden on this tower just to show people that you can grow a lot of food in like a 3-foot square space. So those are my varieties for this year. I'm very excited. Like many gardens, tomatoes. I love growing tomatoes. What varieties are you growing this year? I'd really like to know. Leave me comments below. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I appreciate you coming and watching my videos. And if you can, share this video out. So, tomatoes 2023. I'm excited. And as always, my Cape Cod life.